This is the reason why Janet always say that she went through a lot. Janet didn't heal from that too much. Is Janet Jackson's son Esau really her first child? What's up, my beautiful soul family? How's everybody feeling today? Janet Jackson had a little son at the age of 50. You know what I mean? She named him Esau. I think he will be about 8, 9 years old now. He was born, I think, in 2017. Yeah, he would be about 8 years, 8.5 years old now. However, there's been long-standing rumors that Esau may not be Janet's first child. There's been rumors since the 1980s that Janet Jackson had a secret daughter with her first husband, James DeBarge. You know what I mean? Of course, Janet's family has always denied these rumors, but they've always resurfaced ever so often. What I thought I would do in this video today, let's do a reading. Let's see if there really was a baby between Janet and James, or was it just a rumor? Is Esau her first child, or does she have a daughter before him? Now, y'all know, of course, before I start this reading, I need to put out my disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I state in this video is just my interpretation of the cards. Nothing I state in this video has been proven to be fact as of now. So now that we done got that disclaimer out the way, let's shuffle these cards and let's see how many kids Janet really got. So let's pull the cards and let's see if we get the answers that we seek. We got the King of Pentacles in reverse. We got the Strength card. We got the Five of Swords in reverse. This was a no-win situation. Okay. King of Cups. James. Okay. 7. Okay. So I pulled these cards. I'm feeling like Spirit is saying there was a secret child. But hold on. It's a cautionary yes. But from what I'm looking over these cards and what I'm seeing, I feel like her father told her to get rid of it. I feel like allegedly Joe Jackson told her to get rid of that baby. You know what I mean? She was still living with her parents somewhat, still dependent on them, especially to build her career. You know what I mean? He was still in charge a lot over her life. Shoot. It felt like if word got out about her pregnancy and her marriage and all of that, it would ruin her career. It would ruin her. I feel like, okay. I'm feel something in these cards is coming across as I'm feeling like it was a termination that happened. I feel like she was forced to get rid of the baby. This is what I'm feeling like. You see how you got the Sun card in reverse? That's a termination or a miscarriage. You know what I mean? Her dad made her. You know what I mean? He felt like, you know what I mean? First of all, I'm your father. Second of all, I'm your manager. You know what I mean? This is, you can't handle these. It's too much. It's too much. That's too much responsibility. You got stuff you're trying to build. You know what I mean? You can't have this baby. This is what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like also, this is the reason why Janet always say that she went through a lot and was very depressed right before she released the Control album when she was in her late teens. I feel like this happened. I feel like she got pregnant in her late teens. This is what I'm feeling like. You know what I mean? She was still kind of a child and she was pregnant. He was trying to keep the truth from getting out. He wanted to hide this. You know what I mean? Let me see here. Look, she went through a lot of like emotional turmoil. I feel like she got rid of the baby. I feel like that was her only lifeline. You know what I mean? At least this is what he told her. She didn't have a lot of options because she didn't have a lot of control over her life at that time. You know what I mean? I feel like her father felt like it was a stupid decision to go get pregnant and stuff like that. When you trying to be a star, you're trying to build your life, you're trying to have success. You know what I mean? This is not like just the marriage and the baby. Period. That nah. All alleged for entertainment purposes. I don't think that the baby was born. I think there was a baby created, but that baby, they got rid of the baby. or at least there was a baby that they got rid of that was between them. You know what I mean? Some people say it was a daughter born and given, and other people are saying that it was terminated. I'm seeing in the cards that it was terminated. Let me see here. Look, yep. Look, let me see the Knight of Swords. You think got the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups. We pull some more cards. The Severance of Ties, the Walking Away, cooperating with her father. She did what her family wanted. I don't think she wanted to get rid of that child. I think she just did it because, you know what I mean? I think that's why she ended up marrying him. I don't think they were married when they made that baby. He was her first husband, but I think that child happened before the wedding. And that was also probably what the family was up in arms about. It was an illegitimate baby. This is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? But look, she felt trapped. She felt upset. She felt depressed. You know what I mean? I'm seeing her at the abortionist clinic, allegedly. Wow. Wow. Yep. All right, so I'm putting the last bit of cards. I think that's why they got married after the baby. They got married after the baby. There was a baby allegedly. What I'm seeing in the cards that, like I said, it was an illegitimate child. The child wasn't accepted by her father. You know what I mean? Her father made her get rid of it. I feel like she also married James as a way of rebelling because of the baby. That's what I feel like it was. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like she married him. I feel like it was like a rebellious way of spiting her father. That baby was aborted. Now I'm not gonna say there wasn't a subsequent baby maybe that they had together that was given to Reby like the rumors state, but yeah, I'm seeing at least there was one baby that was terminated. Like I said, it was not a result of the marriage. It was before the marriage. I feel like the remarriage was the result of the baby. It was like rebellion. Okay, so let's see what the oracle cards have to say. Let's see if the oracle cards can elaborate. Secret. It's crazy how the first card that came up was secret. There was a baby. The baby was kept secret, or at least tried to be kept secret. There was a baby. There really was one. Let me see. Death and reversed. That baby was terminated. I asked Spirit with the oracle cards to give me clarity about rather look family. The baby was terminated because due to her family's wishes. Yep, they made her get an abortion. They made her kill that baby. Rest. The opposite of stillness. She had no power in this situation. You know what I mean? I feel like Janet wanted to keep the baby. I do. Janet just did what her family told her to do. Her family insisted she get rid of this baby. It was a secret. It was done in secret. They thought that it would never get out there. Let me see here. She hadn't. Yeah. Let me see. Believe. All of this alleged, of course, but it's believe in reversed and it's cunning in reversed. She felt manipulated by her family. You know what I mean? She was in disbelief that all of that happened. That they actually make her get rid of her baby when they had strong moral convictions. You know what I mean? Strong religious convictions about it. You know what I mean? She had a record deal pending. You know what I mean? They knew that her having a baby like this would pass her by. She needed to be the star. This baby had to go. They were kind of mean about it too. They wasn't the most respectful. She felt like that her baby was sacred. Her child was, she loved that child. I don't think that the rest of her family cared that she loved that child, and she felt like she could have kept the kid and still, still been creative, still built a career, still did the things she needed to do. You know what I mean? I feel like Janet didn't heal from that too much. Like I feel like it took a lot for her to like really work through that. It took years. This is what I'm feeling like for her to find any kind of inner peace. You know what I mean? She feels like she should have defended her child, stood up, and not just allowed her family to dictate. You know what I mean? To allow her family to dictate. She should have been able to keep her child. But at the time, she just did whatever they told her to do. You know what I mean? She wished she could have had more confidence and been more courageous instead of being fearful of her father. You know what I mean? I feel like this was like she had always. How could I say this? I feel like she had always wished she could have kept that child. She could have done things different. I'm seeing the rebirth card, but in reverse. Like I really feel like she wished she could have had a second chance. She feel like she could have provided for that baby. Things could have still happened the way it was meant to. You know what I mean? She's always kind of thought about that child. This is what I'm seeing. Allegedly, all alleged. Everything is alleged. What I'm saying is just what I'm seeing in the cards and what my gut is telling me. All right, so let's clean this up. All right, look, work came before her. She allowed them to make her convince her that her career, her job should have came before protecting her child. This kind of made her lose a lot of trust in her family. You know what I mean? Have a lot of distrust for them because she felt like all y'all care about is singing and being famous and making money and you know what I mean, stuff like that. This is all y'all cared about. You didn't care about my baby. This is where she got that whole thing where she wanted to be free from her father. She wanted to be able to communicate her own wants and needs, take control of her own life, allegedly. Um, yeah, and do things her own way. This was kind of yeah, when she started kind of rebel, this kind of pushed her to rebel and get outside management and all that other stuff. Allegedly, just what I'm seeing in the cards. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think there was a secret baby between James and Janet Jackson? Do you think that Joseph made her get rid of it? Do you guys think that, you know what I mean, there's any validity at all to anything the card said tonight? Thank you, my beautiful soul family, for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next reading. Love you, my babies. Have a good one.